All right, my people, today we are going to be looking at major developments across Africa that will shape the continent's future. Let's begin with Guinea. Guinea has decided not to sell raw gold anymore to anybody. They want to be processing the gold in Guinea. And I think it's a good idea. Africa is beginning a revolution. Next, we turn to Kenya, where a proposed Ebola quarantine facility sparked widespread opposition. This guy was about to build an Ebola center where American citizens affected by Ebola will be kept in Kenya, not in America. So Kenya's people are very angry about this, and the court told this minister to stop building that Ebola facility because the people don't want it. Our next stop is South Sudan, the world's youngest nation. Although South Sudan gained independence in 2011 after decades of conflict with Sudan, now in 2026 they are thinking about elections. I know you are boiling with the edge to hear the whole story. We are going to look at that. Finally, we are going to look at Nigeria, where local women are making remarkable contribution to peace building. Ladies are stopping gangs from operating. Yes. How are they managing it? How are they doing it? We all need to know about that. So let's dive into the whole details. Alright family, the government of Guinea has just banned the export of unrefined gold. Instead of shipping raw gold abroad, the country wants control or refine and process it locally before selling it internationally. This decision is designed to keep more wealth inside the country, create employment opportunities, strengthen local industries, and increase national revenue. Listen to me very carefully. Now, Guinea is not sending any raw gold anymore to any other countries. Guinea is not doing that because for decades many African nations have exported raw material such as gold, cocoa, timber, and crude oil, only to buy back finished products at much higher prices. Guinea is now attempting to break that cycle. Now, how much gold does Guinea have? So Guinea is a top producer of gold. As one of Africa's leading gold producers, Guinea has traditionally exported much of its gold to countries like India, Switzerland, and Italy, where it is refined and sold for significantly greater value. So why is the exporting raw gold bad for Guinea? Now look at this. Well, exporting raw gold is very bad because you sell it for very less money. Other countries get a big profit. Yes. Now, you know, when your countries sell the raw gold to the other people, what they do is to put it in a big machine to actually make it loose form, heat it up, then make gold bars from it. So from the time it's dirty and to the time it becomes a gold bar, then it becomes super expensive. So when you sell it, when it is brown, it's still raw. Yes, it is not very much expensive. So you don't make a lot of profit. And again, when you sell raw gold, you don't create jobs. Because if you clearly open up a refined processing plant in your country, you are going to create jobs because you are going to get people to work, and you can't just make money by only digging and processing. Yeah, that's right. Now, why is it good to process gold in Guinea? Well, this is very good for Guinea because new factories, like I said earlier, will create jobs and make more money will stay in the country. That is how you become rich. You process your own stuff, you process your own gold, you sell finished products. And the president says that our goal should benefit our people first. That's what the president is saying. And let's turn to Kenya. Kenya these days are facing a whole lot of problems where politicians are being accused of wrongdoings. Kenya court has accused a minister named Adindwale. This minister has been accused of continuing to build an Ebola center, US Ebola-backed center or quarantine center, even after the court has told him to stop that project. Now, the court has told this guy, who is a minister, to stop building, but he continues to build. Why would somebody like that do that? Or why would somebody like him decide to be doing that? Because, you know, Africa is Africa. He thinks he got money, so he decided to do whatever it is. He doesn't care about the court because they can manipulate the court to do whatever they want to do. That's African politicians. But I think in Kenya, their own is a little bit different. The court has ordered him to stop building that facility. Now, what is this facility? The facility is supposed to have 5-bed quarantine center in Laikipia Air Base. And so what is the goal? So the US wanted a house in Kenya where they could keep US citizens who were infected with Ebola. Now, you'll probably be asking me, why would US citizens find themselves in Kenya? Look at the distance between America and Kenya. It's very far. So it is this country right here. It is called Democratic Republic of Congo. The country that is at war most of the time. Yes, because the country that is at work most of the time, their president and the president of Rwanda don't get along. They actually been in trouble for the past 30 years. Rwanda accused DRC of keeping enemies of Rwanda in their country. DRC also accuses Rwanda of lying about it and trying to find opportunity to come and steal and loot and take some of the things from their country. I don't know how that is going to be possible, but that is what they are saying. So DRC needed help from the United States of America because, if you have Americans supporting you, you're probably gonna win your war or something very similar to that. Now, Donald Trump jumped on the opportunity. Trump is a businessman. He said, okay, great. I know DRC has a lot of things to offer. They have gold, diamonds, uranium, and all of that. How about we suddenly deal with them? Let's suddenly sign the deal with them and act like we are going to push on Rwanda, getting them out of the country. So DRC is rich. There's no doubt about that. You are necessarily going to finish the issue between DRC and Rwanda, but that's a great opportunity for America. That is how American people find themselves in DRC. They are basically exploiting the country. So recently, if you don't know, there is an Ebola outbreak in DRC and Uganda. So Donald Trump's people are in DRC and some of them have been infected with the Ebola. Now, instead of sending them back to the United States of America, back home, Trump said, how about you keep them in Kenya? Look at DRC and Kenya. Keep them in Kenya. Kenya is stable. It is calm. There is no war. So they can stay in a facility and we are going to sponsor that facility. That's what America is saying. And that is how Americans people find themselves in Kenya. Now, the Kenyan people were not happy about that. Kenyan people, when they want to fight, my people, they will fight very badly, really badly. That's the kind of people they are. So Kenyan people protested. They come out on the streets, they shout, and they say they don't want that. And the government got to hear about that. Then the court said to this minister in charge, listen, stop that building, stop that facility. The court said, stop building that stuff. The minister continued doing it. Now, the court told him again, Kwame Gan, we say you should stop building that thing because our people don't agree with it. They say they don't want it. So, obviously, this is the court. At least, you can see that the court is independent. Somehow, in Kenya, it is sound independence in Kenya. They are not afraid of anything. Now, why did Kenya accept to do this at the first place? The president, William Ruto, said that it will make no sense. The United States of America has been very helpful in Kenya many times. So for Kenya to say no to the US, even though this involves Ebola cases, they can say no to that. Look at this. If you bring Ebola people into your country, you are opening a door to something that could be very drastic. Imagine Kenya. Kenyan people, look at where they are living, the condition that they are living. You bringing that kind of Ebola things into their midst, that's going to be crazy. There will be crazy things out there. So the Kenyan people are 100% right to say, we don't want this in our country. Just because you are the president, you can't take decision on our side or you can't decide for all of us. So the High Court also has ordered the government to stop all the work. So the minister appeared in court and apologized. He told the judge he has now ordered a complete stop to the construction. And that's a very big news and a very big congratulations to the Kenyan people because they have done their work. If not that center is going to be at the top of their nose. And when a lot of people get infected with this, then there will be a drastic things in Kenya. Now let's go into South Sudan. South Sudan is the newest country in the world. Yes, South Sudan has always been part of Sudan. Sudan used to be the biggest country in Africa, I believe, until it was split into two. Northern Sudan, which is Sudan now, and South Sudan, which is South Sudan. So historically, Sudan used to be a colony of the British. And in 1956, something happened. British give them independence. Now, Sudan, it used to be divided into two parts without being said. The Dundee part was more of Arabic, so lighter skinned people and mostly Muslim. The southern part was habited by black people. Yes, mostly different tribes, but black people. However, what happened next was Britain used to take good care of the northern side more than the black side. And after independence, the northern side sort of prospered better than the southern side. And the people of northern side, the Arabs, were in government. They were the powerful people. They had the money and they did not take care of the black side of Sudan. Now, very slowly, as you would imagine, resentment grew and a lot of black people were very unhappy with the situations and they started asking for independence. However, the central government didn't like that. So they said, you are asking for independence for what? And the next thing, they sent soldiers to go and beat them up. These were not necessarily official soldiers, so it was like a militia created by the main government to go and unalive black people. They did very bad things. Millions of people were dead in Sudan at that time, and they were targeting especially black people. And it was very sad to hear. It happened for many years. It's only, many years, only African people in South Sudan voted to be an independent country. So they created their own country. So then South Sudan was born. Now, when South Sudan was born, they had a problem. What is the problem? South Sudan has more than 60 tribes, but these people started fighting among each other over power. So top leaders, black people have issue with powers. Exactly. You wanted freedom from the Arabs, saying you don't want to be guided by the Arabs anymore because you feel like they are mistreating you. You want to be by yourself because you are black and Christians and enemies. Now, all of a sudden, we are fighting each other already. So top leaders were fighting for power. President Salva Kiir was a Dinka. You see, these are Dinka people, Dinka tribe, very tall people most of the time. And the vice president, Rich Masha, who was Nuer tribe, became enemy. They fought each other over power. They used their own tribes, to fight the other tribe. And that's sad. That's the reality of African people. African politicians use their tribes for power. It's sad. Sudan, there was a lot of money, but the leaders stole it. Instead of building roads, schools, and hospitals, they used it for themselves. And that was very sad. Now, I'm sure the Arabs were laughing at them. Look at these people. They are asking for independence. That's how they are slaughtering each other. Now, this is the time that they want to do election. It is very important because it is going to be the very first time since its independence. Yes, to have election, we will say congratulations to them because it has become a place where they have decided to do the right thing now because a lot of black people, a lot of them were killed. These people were fighting each other, here and there out. It was not looking very nice. It was looking very badly. Now they have decided to vote, and I'll say big congratulations to them once again. They have done the right thing. There are plenty of South Sudanese in Kenya and in Uganda as refugees because it's very sad. We don't want to see that anymore. Yes. I hope this is going to be an opening door to great things in South Sudan. Let me know about how you feel about this. Now, finally, let's go into Nigeria. Nigerian women are working very hard. They are peacekeepers. They are helping gangs to stop violence. How are they doing it? They are basically going to mediate to make peace between rival gangs. They speak to the gang members, advise them, and help some leave the gangs. This is happening in an era where Boko Haram is prominent in Borno State. Now, this is Borno State. So the women's effort focus on mediation, reconciliation, and reducing violence within community. Although the challenges remain significant, these women are demonstrating that peace can often begin through conversations, trust, and community leadership. Across these stories, one message stands out. African nations continue to face serious challenges, but both decisions, active citizens, and community-driven solutions are creating opportunity for lasting progress. Guys, what do you think about all of this? Just let me know in the comment section. Peace.